Back with Aztecs Now, we're talking about Brandon Sullivan. Brandon Sullivan mentioned that name, and rightfully so. This junior had some little problems with his ankle earlier this year. They missed him tremendously, especially after Tia Henderson had the broken bone in his back from spring camp and summer camp, and hasn't been able to play at all. So there's more pressure on Brandon. He comes through, as mentioned, with his second 100-yard day of the 2009 season. He's a junior from Poway, California. Brandon, good to see you, and congratulations. I mean, I understand. We talked about with Coach Hoke about, and even as a broadcaster, I mean, it's supposed to be objective and not care, but you're with a program for so many years. I've been doing this 30 years. You care. How hard has it been? How hard was it to sleep? How hard was it to get over that thing Saturday night?
Well, I mean, it was tough. I mean, even coming in yesterday morning, you saw it in a lot of guys' faces, a lot of guys' expressions and whatnot. You know, this game really hurt, and you know, we're trying to get over it one night, and we have Utah to focus on this week, and that's what we're trying to do as of right now.
Boy, I know it's not easy. It's not, because I mentioned to Coach Hoke that I think sometimes you get blown out 55-0, and it's over with, and well, they're just so much better. They had a great day, or we had a bad day. But when it's a last second thing or the last minute thing, I think in any sport that's harder, is it not?
I mean, not just sports, but anything in life, when it's right there in your hands and it gets taken away from you. Of course, it hurts, and you know, like I said before, it really hurt us. But at the same time, we got to move on. So,
how do you feel you've been doing in terms of, because I see you out there, man, running harder, and Coach mentioned even in Colorado State, he was talking about you picking up blitzes and not just running, but blocking. Do you think you really improved? They always say the game's slowing down for you, and you really think you belong on the Division I field. Do you have that feeling now? Because you should.
I mean, it's not just myself. It's the offensive unit as a whole. I mean, we're trying to pick up on what Coach Borges preaches to us every day, and we're trying to really take the offense and really mold ourselves into being a good offense, and that's what we try to do every day, is work hard, and I believe that it's slowly but surely happening for us, and that's all we work on each day. So,
you know, people hear guys like you, number 23 there, talking about their offensive line, and it's not a cliche, because you ain't going anywhere. I remember Dan Fouts and other quarterbacks when was with the Chargers, he would take that offensive line out to dinner every Friday night on the road or home and buy them dinner. Take care of those guys, because Dan thought, man, that's the meal ticket. Without them, I ain't got nothing. So when you talk about them, you're right.
It's true. I mean, you're only as good as your offensive line, so we try to
I understand. And by the way, as I mentioned, in terms of blocking, during the course of the last few games, when Walter Casey has been deep in the eye, Brandon goes to fullback position in the front end of that eye other times. Is that difficult at all to make that in terms of your blocking assignments and so forth, to make those switches? Most guys don't do that in the course of a game. Is that tough or not?
I mean, we work on it every day in practice and whatnot, so it's part of the offense. I mean, each guy has a role, and I'm just trying to play my role. So.
Where, I mentioned this to Coach Hoke because I felt confident even at 27-20, the Aztecs, the way Brandon had been running and Ryan Lindley had been playing, that they were going to be fine. Was there a time where you're in the game, maybe you don't even get a chance to think about that, where you were concerned that the thing was slipping away in the fourth quarter?
I mean, I wasn't really trying to focus on that. Each time we come off, offense comes off the field, we're trying to make corrections on what just happened at that given moment. That way, when we do get back on the field, we can correct those errors and, you know, get another drive going and get another 6 points on the board. So, you know, it really didn't hit me until the game was over.
Yeah, and Lindley, by the way, Ryan, there have been a bunch of great quarterbacks at this university through the years, all the way back to Dennis Shaw and Brian Sipin, who's now obviously on the coaching staff. Lindley is special. Is he not? I mean, to play with a guy like that, you can't sit back like I can and appreciate it and watch it, but that guy can play.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Nice. You can't beat that. And by the way, this transition of going through, and other players who have sat in this chair this year, to go through a new head coach, and then you get a new position coach, with Coach Heklinski for you, and then Coach Hoke, and that transition, how tough was that to go through? Because you got a guy that knows you, a staff that knows you. It's like starting all over with somebody coming, a new boss at a company, whatever. Mm-hmm. How tough was that transition?
I mean, any transition is tough. I mean, it's just like coming out of high school, going to a Division I university for the first time. It was just like doing that all over again. You guys got to work hard and prove yourselves to the coaching staff. And we all committed ourselves to trying to prove ourselves and getting better, and that's what we try to do. So.
Brandon, I watched the Monday Night Football game and watched a die and watched on the New England side with Kevin Falk and guys like that. What backs when you watch a college game or a pro game that you watch and think, that's what I want. That's the guy. That's the one I would like to emulate. He's the kind of guy. Are there 3 or 4 players, running backs, that you think are awesome or not?
I mean, right now, I wouldn't. I guess I could say every back would want to be like Adrian Peterson right now.
That's a very good point. That's a very good point.
You know, I'm at the same time just trying to work on what I have right now and just harnessing my talents and trying to be the best Brandon Sullivan I can, just like everyone else is trying to be the best person they can. But Adrian Peterson would be the guy.
It's a good thing, because all the LT talk, Charger fans, LaDainian Tomlinson, no offense, Peterson, I think, is bigger and maybe even faster. And like Brandon said, you are what you are. You're not going to get much bigger. I don't think you get work on things determined to get faster. So you do have to, I guess, take the package that you have. From a standpoint of speed, have you been timed? How fast, or do you think you are fast, and are you?
Well, I mean, Coach Wellman, he's a great strength and conditioning coach. Everything we do is based off of strength and speed. I wouldn't be able to tell you my speed right now. It's been a while since we've tested, but getting healthy and whatnot, I'm feeling a little bit of speed coming back as well as a lot of guys. So it's pretty exciting to feel the effects of the training and whatnot we've been going through.
That's awesome. That's great. Brandon, congratulations on what you have done individually with that offensive line, and wish you luck at Utah and UNLV to get this season and get a couple of more wins. Thanks for the time.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Brandon Sullivan, number 23 of the Aztecs. This women's soccer team, by the way, it ain't about just football and basketball, as they say. It's some other teams that are really doing well, and this women's team has just had entrance into the NCAA of a Drake Stadium in UCLA last weekend. More with Coach Friesen and a report from Mike Costa next on Aztec Now.